and lesson for Tuesday, September 17th. Yet another clean day in the market. Actually, quite surprising how clean it really was. We've been in a pretty messy market the past week or so, where each and every morning it's kind of undefined exactly what's going to happen. And I know you could say that about any market, but usually there's some sort of whiff of the directional pick that the market's going to go. But we are at top, and with us gapping up just a hair over all-time highs. What we were watching for is a slice through, so above all-time highs. We want it to fall back down below that support, pop up, and bump its head into previous all-time highs. Essentially, above support, failing support, retesting resistance. It's technical analysis 101. It's something that we watch for all the time. It's one of the best setups in combination with our strategy that's out there, and we absolutely nailed the day. So I'm going to get zoomed in here on the morning session because that's really what's important. So one sec. And then obviously our daily chart, we have a couple of levels that we were watching. And then the first trade, yeah, that was the second. This is the first. Okay, so the first, now that you can see the entire day, this was the only trade short that we took. I'm going to zoom in on these entries so then you guys can get a better idea. Okay, so now that you guys can see my entry, so what we did here, now there wasn't a lot of distance, but what happened is we opened right just a hair below, right at that previous close. So once we have that, then what I'm looking for is a wash and then a nice slow proper retracement back in to test that level. Now it didn't quite do that, but what I did have here was to risk off of pre-market highs. And the risk off of that was 50 cents. 50 cents on a $565 stock or ETF is such a minimal amount of risk. I decided to go for it. So once we, oops, sorry folks, I'm without a mouse because I'm just on my trade recap computer. We opened up, we washed out. So it washed out is sufficient enough. It holds and it pushes up. So start in on that and then just continue to work the trade up into pre-market highs. And that's exactly where it went. So those are the first initial entries, starting off with a very small bite-size entry. There wasn't a lot of contracts there at all. And then as it's coming up into my defined risk, I'm correcting that average because I need to get out the majority back down into that support, because now that we blew through support, there's a fairly good chance with it bouncing off of that support. So that's where I need to pay myself the majority of that position. Doesn't matter if it's this much, doesn't matter if it's this much. That's how you have to trade. This is how professionals trade. So as it falls down, got a lot of follow through on the name, paid myself, and then just work this trade back into here. So as it pops back up underneath, which is that's a real clean setup that we were looking for. So entered, paid myself, entered, pay myself, entered, pay myself, and then entered on the last time there, and then got right up here where it popped up and through. This was a very small ad on that one, and then just reap the rewards of trading nicely and cleanly. And then on this one here, so this trend, you're not going to see a level struck, but right there, right where those yellow crosshairs are, that was a defined trade plan that we defined prior to the market opening. That was our long area. So we always have a short, we always have a long. So that was the short. So finished up on the short, locking in $6,310 on that trade alone. Then we go over to the long. And this beautiful, beautiful long, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Absolutely fantastic. Members absolutely smoked this one. Normally, I can't complain about the entry, but I do want to say something. I was giving a lesson at this time, and normally I entered directly into that level. Normally you would see a bottom tick entry on an entry like that when it's coming right into that level like that I'm watching and I've been waiting for all morning. But I was giving a lesson and it popped up and I was like, shit, I probably missed it. It's going to go. And I never chase. I don't chase stocks. But once it kind of held and it opened and it kind of pissed around here. It was right at this point. I was like, okay, well, if it's going to hold, it's going to hold there. So decided to get in. That was my entry. And then once it pops up, I pay myself, right? I'm always going to pay myself into the first level of resistance, which is right there. And this previous support here. So I'm going to pay myself there. And then I'm going to look for an adding opportunity. I will add back down into support. So had a couple of areas where I could add into support right there, which is right here on the chart. Once it holds, it's going to squeeze. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic trade. And on this here, if you take a look at the entry was in and around about $1.40, went as high as 210, 220 almost on mine, and paid myself back into highs. And that was it. So locking in an additional, the first trade I locked in $6,310, and the second trade, this long, I locked in $6,515. So 2 days in a row, absolutely monstrous days for only working literally 30 minutes of the market open. This is what we do each and every day. I'm sure the ones that are watching these on a regular basis, you're starting to see that this is what we do every single day. We are in and out of the market with clear defined trade plans that we give prior to the market opening. They're given at 9 a.m. every single morning, and then we simply just follow the plans. A lot of people seem to have a hard time understanding how a person can be consistently green day in and day out. Now, I take red trades all the time. It happens all the time. Right now, the market is very clean and we have a very good grasp on the market and what it's doing. We're patient with our entries. So right now, there hasn't been a lot of red trades, but red days, guys, don't put limitations on things that you don't understand. That's all I ask of you. And come here watching my recaps with an open mind. I've been doing this on social media now for 8 years, and I've been trading professionally for 10, 11 years now. You know, there's levels to this game, guys. And if you can put all of that bullshit aside and come and see how things are done in a professional capacity, you're going to see a world of day trading that you have not experienced before. You will understand that there is a level of consistency that is very easy to achieve. And all of these limitations that are put on you are absolute bullshit. You don't need to be red all the time. You don't have to have monstrous losses. When you are working with a professional coach that is disciplined and can teach you discipline on a whole other level and what the word strategy actually means, that's when life changes. So it's about mentality and discipline and doing things correctly and professionally day in and day out. And this is how you get results like this, folks. So, you know, it's up to you whether you want to take a chance. And I always put it like this. So let's say I am full of shit. Why not see for yourself for a couple $100? Why would you not want to prove that I'm full of shit or not? Come prove if I'm full of shit. Absolutely. Come to the room and check it out. That's how I put it. With myself doing this for almost a decade live and teaching, something would come out in the wash by now, guys. Okay. Nobody's that good at deception. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, not to make this long-winded, but we're going there. So we'll just go there and have a little chat to wrap this trade recap up. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about, you know, when I first started trading, you know, traders that I may have looked up to or thought, hey, I would like to aspire to be them. And then obviously, as I learned, you know, it all comes out in the wash that they're full of shit. And, you know, within a couple of few years, they get exposed. Some of the really good deceptive bastards and frauds out there, you know, they get exposed after, you know, 3 years, 4 years. But it all comes out in the wash, guys. Now, I've been doing this on social media a very long time, 8 years. And in May, it'll be 9. It's been a long time. So, you know, there are levels to this game, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. You know, you can go back on all of my social media and take a look. Nothing's changed. I've traded the exact same strategy. Sure, some things have evolved and they've tightened up and they've gotten better, but that's part of the process, right? But ultimately, the strategy is the same. Everything's the same day in and day out. And this is what we do. And I can teach you how to do this as well. In fact, our Size Up program has a 92, as of right now, 92% success rate. And what that translates to is 92% of members that participate in our Size Up program, which is included It's included in membership. It's not an upsell. It's nothing. It's part of the membership. If they participate in that, 92% are not only consistent, but they are profitable. Those type of statistics, and those statistics can absolutely be backed up as well. And we're going to be doing a follow-up to our race to consistency video here soon with Adam and I, and we're going to go through all of these numbers and statistics and everything else, and show you guys that it is doable. And to have this type of consistency is very achievable. It's a level. So why not take a shot at it for a couple $100? Why wouldn't you want to change your life? Either change your life or say or prove that I'm full of shit. You got one or two options. For a couple $100, I'll take those odds. So on that note, folks, come to tricktrades.com. We'll catch you on the other side. And if not, that's fine. We'll just keep doing our thing. Adios.